Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Crocheting Coffee here. And tonight, or I should say super early this morning, we're going to do a whip and chat. I figured why not? I'm up, you're up. Obviously, you're watching this at whatever time you're watching this. I am actually going to be recording this at 1 a.m. technically Tuesday morning. I can't sleep. So my brain's like, hey, a whip and chat sounds good, right? Right, because that's what you do at 1 a.m. You record a whip and chat. So, if you haven't guessed, it's a whip and chat. So get your stuff out. Let's chat. Let's whip and chat. All right. So, like that was enough time for you to get your stuff together, right? I know. Either way. So I just want to say first and foremost, because I forgot to say it in the last couple of videos, and I feel like such a turd. Like, not like a regular turd, but one of those dried up dog turds on the side of the street that's been sitting in the sun way too long because nobody decided to pick it up. I would like to say congrats to Stitcherista, Rachel Ray, and Diamond Painting by Donnie for the feature from Diamond Art Club. I would also like to say a huge thank you to Diamond Art Club for making that feature. I greatly appreciate it. I might have said this before. I don't remember. I have a horrible memory, which is probably why I need more sleep. That's not happening. But they did a feature about a week or so ago with myself, Stitcherista, Rachel Ray, and Diamond Painting by Donnie. Just saying, hey, these people are cool. Check them out. So I just want to say a huge thank you to Diamond Art Club. Thank you so very much. I do greatly appreciate it. I do apologize it took me so long to remember that I didn't say that. But y'all know me. Y'all know I'm so scatterbrained. Yet the squirrel is real. So yes, thank you, Diamond Art Club, and congrats, ladies. You guys do an amazing job, and I look up to all of you to help with my channel. Now, my channel. I hit 3,500 subscribers today. About an hour ago. And for the first time ever, it left me literally speechless. Like, one of my subscribers, she's a new subscriber. She brought it to my attention, and I was like, hold up, 3,500? I was just at 3,300 like 5 days ago. So I had to go run and check because I don't ever, again, when I tell you guys that are creators not to look at your subscriber count, I mean it. Don't look at it. You'll drive yourself nuts. So I don't look at mines, and unless somebody says something about it, I don't check it. So yeah, apparently I jumped from 33 to 35 in 5 days. And part of me is like, I feel bad because I don't want to brag. I don't want to make anybody feel bad. I don't want to chap any asses. But on the other hand, I'm doing like this horrendous happy dance that should not be seen by the light of day. I can't say thank you enough to everyone who supports me, and even those who don't support me, those who, hate on my channel, because without people like you to fuel me to keep making videos just to piss you off, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. So thank you to everyone. Even if you've just glanced at my channel and went, she's gross. Thanks for the watch time. So yes, thank you so much to everybody. I can't tell you how much it means to me, and I can't wait to tell Mr. Coffee when he wakes up, because he's always, as you guys know, Mr. Coffee is super supportive of my channel. He figured it'd be a nice way for me to open up, since when we moved here, I kind of closed myself in. I don't do well with change. Which is why a lot of you creators that know me, if you change something on your channel, I freak out a little bit. I don't do well with change. I'll be the first to admit it. I have a problem with change. And the sad part is, I have a problem with a lot of things. But I'm aware of said problems, and I try to make them better. Usually not really. Anyways. So yeah, so thank you to each and every one of you, and I do mean that. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be able to do this, and to not only do this, but do it well enough that so many people come to see what I'm doing, what I'm working on, and all that fun jazz. So again, thank you guys so much. You guys are the real MVPs here. I'm just a chick behind a camera talking to herself in a dark room. Um, so yeah, so enough with that mushy stuff. Let's get into the meat and taters. Let's get into the meat and taters here. But I didn't want you guys to not have a whip and chat this week. It's been a busy week. I haven't really worked on Anna a whole lot. I could be further, but of course summer's here and the kids are home, and I gotta hang out with my babies. And like today we went to play soccer, got hit in the head with the ball. We came home. I'm pretty sure I'm a little concussed, and I'm like, why is it every time I get an injury, it's to my head? That Orion has a mean kick. So yeah, I got hit in the head with the soccer ball. Before that, the reason why we went to the soccer field in the first place is because Maggie kept chopping me in the legs with with Orion's sword that he had from Christmas, or not from Christmas, from Halloween. He was a ninja for Halloween, and he had swords that he never opened. So glad I spent the $17 on that. And they decided today would be a good day to open those and play. And I was like, go ahead, just don't hurt yourselves. I don't want anybody to die. I'm not going to the hospital today. So if you hurt yourself, whatever's hanging off will be hanging off until tomorrow. So yeah, so for those of you who don't know, I am working on, I'm helping out Diamond Art Club with a project. It's called One Worth Melting. It's one of the newer releases that came out on Monday for everyone, but Saturday for those Diamond and Ruby members. I'm working on that right now, so that's what you're seeing. All these blues is absolutely gorgeous. It's a joy to work on. It is confetti heavy, but nowhere near as bad as Starry Nights. Oh my gosh, the confetti game was real. My eyes were crossed. That confetti was just straight disrespectful. This one's a little bit more respectful. Yes, confetti can be respectful. But yeah, so I'm working on that for those of you wondering, what is she working on? So it's One Worth Melting, which you guys know is Anna from Frozen. Yes, I do know that there is a sequel coming out. Yes, I do know I will probably be one of the first parents in line with the oh my god, why am I here face, because we've seen Frozen, I don't know, like a million times, because whatever little Princess Maggie wants to watch is what everybody is forced to watch. So why is it that the littlest person in the house always gets the run of the TV? Like, I can be sitting here watching my YouTube videos and she will come over and put on like Peppa Pig Live or some crazy thing about toys, and I'm sitting here watching it like, oh, this is really interesting. This is great. I would rather watch this than anything else on the world. Like, this is awesome. And then 20 minutes later, I'm like, hold up, how did I get roped into watching this? I'm telling you right now, if I have to watch one more Paw Patrol episode, I'm going to lose my mind. Having small children is fun, folks. Have children, they said. It'd be fun, they said. Just like last week, I was telling you guys about Minna with Killian. Minna's getting used to living with dogs again, so she's been all over the dogs. And as you guys heard in live chat, she wants more animals, and yeah, that's not happening. I told her dad, and he's like, I'm not getting her anything. I'm like, what makes you think I am? She don't even live here. Like, it makes no sense for me to get a pet and you don't even live here to help me take care of it. But we've been talking because we were trying to decide exactly when we're going to send Minna back to Pennsylvania. She's going to be going back a little bit sooner than we anticipated, only because she wants to be able to hang out with her friends and visit with her gram and stuff, because we were thinking about taking her back right before she would leave for camp, like literally the night before she would leave for camp, and that's a little too soon. We're still debating on whether or not we want to fly her home or if we want to drive her home. And it's actually going to be Mr. Coffee, so it's just Mr. Coffee and Minna going back. I'm going to stay here and hold down the fort just so we don't have to pay for dog boarding again for, a week, and that's food expenses and all that fun jazz, and the little ones aren't really up for another huge car ride like that, so I'm going to stay home and hold down the fort. And where I would love to see my daughter off, I don't make long drives like that. I can't. I get extremely too tired. It would take me almost 3 weeks to get her to Pennsylvania, where it'll take Mr. Coffee like 2 days. So he will be driving her back home, I'm pretty sure. How did I miss all that black up there? Anyways. So yeah, so we're debating on what exactly we want our next course of action to be. So, surprisingly, so far, she's liking it up here. But like I said, she's getting used to the pets, and she had an incident with Killian where apparently Killian pushed her through our screen door. So essentially, like I tell her, she essentially football tackled my screen door. Let me explain. So Minna was making a sandwich, and apparently Killian wanted the piece of cheese that she was waving while she was trying to say hi to him. And I've had to teach her the rules of you don't wave or play with the dogs when you're eating, because if you do, they think you're trying to give them food. And my dogs can't have human food because they have sensitive stomach. I don't know if it's a purebred thing or what, but both dogs, Daisy, the German Shepherd, and Killian, the Siberian Husky, are both purebred. And I don't know if it's because they are purebreds or what, but they both have really sensitive stomachs. So any little bit of human food, instant green apple splatters just all over the place. And I'm not about that life. I'm not spending my summer cleaning up, poop out of a carpet so that she can give them treats. I'm like, find something else that's not human food. Like, I have treats for them. Well, she's sitting there making a sandwich, and Killian wanted the cheese because he's a greedy dog. So she's waving at him with the cheese in her hand, and I'm in the room. I think I was recording the unboxing with Dream the tiger and Firefox. Yeah, I was, because I was cleaning up from the video, and I just hear this crash, and I'm like, what are they doing? And I go out, and she's there on the ground. Killian's laying on the floor in the other room, and I'm like, what did you do? And she's like, Killian pushed me through the screen. I'm like, so you essentially football tackled my screen. Like, now my screen door is essentially now a doggy door, because the dogs now use it as a doggy door because I have to get a new screen. So I'm like, oh, that's wonderful. Now I got to go find a place around here that has a new screen. And my dad was telling me that I need to go try this place called Tractor Supply. And when I first lived in Pennsylvania, they have a Tractor Supply in the town I lived in, and I thought they sold tractor supplies. They sell pretty much farm equipment. You can buy food for horses. You can buy chicks during Easter. You can buy all kinds of like old McDonald stuff. Like, that's what I call it, the old McDonald store. So I have to go check that place out tomorrow. But as you guys have seen, we went down the street from my house is a rec center. And the rec center essentially has everything: racquetball, tennis, soccer, football, basketball, track, a gym, Pilates, yoga, sauna. It's called the Arc. Now, we've lived here for a year. And last year, Mr. Coffee, I'm thinking, okay, he's lived here for 5 years. He's going to know this area better than me. No. Mr. Coffee knows nothing about this place. So we're learning all these new places together, which is kind of nice, but then kind of annoying at the same time when you ask him a question about something you feel he should know, and he doesn't know, and you're just like, oh God, shoot me now. Like if I were to go, hey, where's the closest Taco Bell? He could tell me that. But if I were to go, hey, where's the closest place that I can take the kids to go play? Oh, I don't know. Does anybody else have a spouse that does that? Like, they just, when it comes to a question that you want to know, it's like all common sense has left them. Like, the only sense they have is a good sense of humor. And so we've been talking about this Arc place for a year. We wanted to go. My Aunt Cynthia actually told me about the place because she used to live in Williston because her husband helped build the apartments around here. Matter of fact, the apartment that I live in, he helped build this building. So I thought that was pretty cool. But, yeah, like, I'm sitting there and we've been talking about going to this Arc place for a year. Sorry, I'm in the middle of something over here on this computer. But I wanted to check out the Arc, and Oh, it's Rachel. Hi, Rachel. When I stay up late, Rachel Ray messages me and she's like, "Why are you awake? Let me live my life, Rachel." No, seriously, I should probably go to bed, but I'm not going to. Don't tell Rachel. Hey, Rachel. Anyways, so we have been wanting to go to this ARC place for the longest time. So last year, on our little adventures, as I call them, he would take us to all these outdoorsy places, like all these lakes, like Spring Lake and Lois and Clark has some kind of like park grounds or something around here, like campgrounds and stuff. So he would take us to places like that. And the kids absolutely love being outside. They love being outside. They love nature. Maggie loves bugs. Orion, not so much. Orion is, he doesn't like to get dirty too much. Maggie will get dirty all day. So I tell people all the time, just jokingly, that Maggie's my son and Orion's my daughter, because Orion's the one that doesn't want to get dirty. He doesn't like to touch dirt. He will every once in a while, but for the most part, no. Orion is not about being dirty. He has a little bit of his mom in him. I don't mind getting dirty if I have to, but if I don't have to, please don't make me get dirty. But yeah, so last year we went to all these outdoorsy places and he kept talking about this ARC place. And I'm like, why don't you just frickin' take us? And it's always about money. You know, he was worried that it was going to be hella expensive. So, you know, to make that super long explanation shorter, we decided for Father's Day, like really late at night, that we were going to go to the ARC. We were finally going to go. We waited for Minna to get here to go, so at least that's what his excuse was. So he's like, we can finally go over to this ARC place. All right, cool. So we go over to the ARC place, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay. All right, so we're going to go to the ARC. We'll let the kids swim for a few hours. We'll come home. I'll make dinner. We'll have a nice evening, maybe watch a movie or something. You know, like that real wholesome Hallmark stuff. We're not that type of family. So that night, the night before we left to go to this ARC place, which I didn't know was 10 minutes from my house, that night, me and Mr. Coffee decided we were going to stay up all night because it's the first night that he didn't have to go to work the next day and I wanted to spend time with him. So we stayed up all night doing our thing, you know. We talked about the channel and we talked about, you know, his games and what he wanted for Father's Day, which of course was some weird game controller, something called like Escadia or I don't freaking know, some Google controller thing that he wanted. So that's what he got for Father's Day, for those who wonder. He got some weird Google Escadia controller thing that's like a game console or something. I don't freaking know. So yeah, so I was like, okay. We stayed up until 5 a.m. and then decided to go to sleep. But, you know, of course, we don't go to bed right away. We go in, we get to bed, and we're still sitting there chitter-chattering. And then we finally fall asleep. And it always happens. One of us is talking, which is usually me, and then the other person falls asleep, and then the person that's talking, which is, again, usually me, falls asleep right afterwards. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, so we'll get up tomorrow morning. I'll find my bathing suit, because Lord knows when the last time I seen it. Last year when they went swimming, I didn't go swimming because Mr. Coffee has this innate ability to tick me off right before we're supposed to go do things. Ruins my whole day. He's just having a blast. So I'm like, I'll find my bathing suit and I'll actually go swimming and it'll be a fun day. Nothing's going to ruin this day. So I went to bed all super excited. The next afternoon. Okay. So the next afternoon, I get up to Mr. Coffee going, good morning, sweetie. Good morning. I look over at the clock. It's 12 after 1. And I'm like, holy piss in a bucket. Why did you just now wake me up? And my Alexa wakes me up every morning at 10 o'clock. It tells me to get up because that's usually right when the kids have gotten up. So she'll tell me to wake up. And so I'm sitting there like, I didn't hear my Alexa. That happens every once in a while because she's out in the living room, but she's on the wall that's kind of adjacent to my bedroom. So most of the time, because I sleep so light, I can hear her. Like if Maggie were to cry in her room, I can hear her cry. I will wake up and go see what's wrong. If Orion were to cry, or Minna, I would wake up to go see what's wrong. But for some reason, I didn't hear anything. I was dead to the world. So I finally do get up. He's like, everybody's ready to go. We're just waiting on you. And I'm like, I'm not even joking, you guys. I'm literally in bed in my pajamas, okay? No coffee, no clothes, in my pajamas, in bed. And he goes, everybody's ready to go except for you. We're just waiting for you to wake up. I'm like, well, when were you going to wake me up? Well, I figure, and usually I get up because of the alarms. I don't just wake up. Like, I have to have an alarm set or I will not wake up. I will sleep for an entire day. I don't care. No shame. So he's just like, oh, well, I wanted to let you sleep. And the first thought that came to my mind was, dude, it's Father's Day. You're the one that's supposed to be sleeping in. I didn't even get to sleep in on Mother's Day, but he let me sleep in on Father's Day. Now, this is Mr. Coffee's brain, okay? I don't know. So I'm immediately mad because now I have to get up and rush around, get dressed, no coffee, no, nothing, just up, dress, go. Well, that's what I did. I got up, I got dressed, I got myself cleaned up, and we go to leave. And he goes, do you have your bathing suit on? I'm like, I don't know where my bathing suit is. And since you guys were already ready before I even woke up, I didn't have a chance to get my bathing suit. So no, I'm not swimming today. I will work on my diamond painting. So I took the diamond painting to the pool. Yes, I did. I rolled it up, I put a towel over it, and I diamond painted. I did get a couple people ask me, what exactly it was, and I showed them and was showing them how to do it, and they were all like, ooh, I have to go check that out. So, I didn't do it for that reason, because, I just do it. I'm not trying to bring anybody into this diamond painting cult. So I'm like, that's cool, whatever. Oh, and if you're seeing this over here, this is actually not trash. This is just where, like right here in the boat, if you can see right here, there's another color mixed in with all those hobo stragglers. I put them in there. So those are just stragglers. I haven't had, actually, I think I've had one diamond that was trash out of this entire kit so far. Not that I've gotten a lot completed, but it is what it is. Anyways, so Mr. Coffee, he's all sad now because, I didn't have a chance to get my bathing suit, and now everybody else is going to be swimming except for me, and I'm not going to have fun, and I'm like, well, this is a day about you anyways. Don't worry about it. But before we left, let me backtrack a little bit because this part made me really mad. He forgot to essentially give the kids their medicine. In the morning when I wake up at 10 a.m., I get up, I get the kids their medicine, I feed and water the dogs, I get the kids their breakfast, I get the dogs out to go to the bathroom, I come back, and then I make my coffee, I get my cups of ice, because if you guys don't know, I chew ice all the time. It's an anemia thing, I don't know. I've had it for at least 8 years because I developed anemia when I was pregnant with my son Orion. So yeah, so that's my morning routine. I get up, I get the kids their medicine, I get them breakfast, I feed and water the dogs, I take the dogs out for a walk, and then I do whatever else I have to do around the house. I do the same routine every morning, every single morning at 10 a.m. because my kids are sleepyheads and they sleep all day. They'll sleep all day if I let them. I have to go wake them up and be like, hey, breakfast. Orion, no. Orion's usually up watching some weird gamer thing on TV or on YouTube, but Maggie's usually still asleep, so I have to go wake her up. And Minna, she's still asleep too, so I just let her sleep because I'm like, you're old enough to get your own breakfast. But anyways, so yeah, so that's my routine in the mornings. So before we left the house, I went, did you give the kids their medicine? Now at this point, it's 1:30, okay? And he goes, oh crap, I forgot. You guys, I don't think I've ever been so mad. I'm pretty sure he saw the, like, you know how when you watch cartoons and the character gets mad and you see the flames in their eyes? I was so mad. And I'm trying not to ruin Father's Day for him, but I'm pretty sure I probably did because I was mad. Maggie has to have her medicine at certain times because of her seizures. So for those of you who don't know, my daughter Maggie is the little 6-year-old. She's one that runs the house. She is epileptic, which means she has seizures. She is on medication for it that control it, but they don't stop it. So she doesn't have as many. But if you don't give her medication at a certain time, she gets extremely groggy and grumpy, and she is exhausted all day. I actually just talked to the doctor on Monday, and we're supposed to be going back to have some more tests ran to see what exactly is misfiring, because there's something misfiring in her brain. So they have to run like all these super tests and dye tests and all this. And they'll be doing that when we go back, but I have to talk to the doctor tomorrow. They're going to give me a call back tomorrow to see when we need to go back up to Montana, and stuff like that. I'll let you guys know as that time comes. So yeah, so I'm like, why wouldn't you give the kids their medicine? Orion's medicine is just allergy meds. And because there's only 6 trees here, maybe 5, because, you know, Wolfpack Diamond Painting stole them all. She has them in front of her house, don't worry about it. But, because there's only 6 trees here, if he misses a day of meds, it won't kill him. Like, nothing really happens to him. Like, he hasn't had any problems with allergies since we moved here, because there's really nothing to be allergic to unless you're allergic to life. So, yeah. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, how did you forget to give the kids their medicine? I'm like, didn't you notice Maggie acting funny? He goes, I did, but I just thought she was being herself. And I'm like, that's true. I'll give you that one. But I'm like, you can't forget to give these kids their meds. Like, what is wrong with you? And he's not used to giving them their meds. He never gives them their meds. I give them their meds. I'm a stay-at-home mom. That's my job, not his. So part of me felt bad because I fussed at him for something he's not used to doing. And so, but I did fuss at him. I gave him a holy hell, because no. Anyways, so we're in the car. Now we're going to fast forward to being back in the car. We're trying to find this place. And of course, I'm driving because Mr. Coffee's, you know, getting it on the good foot still. He's able to walk without his crutches, but he still hobbles, and that leg shakes when he walks. And I'm like, I hope to all that is holy that you start walking normal soon, because every time he takes a step, it looks like his leg's going to give out. And he's been complaining about his hip bothering him and everything else. And I'm like, you're just going to fall apart on me, aren't you? He's like, sooner or later, you're just going to have to carry me around in a wheelchair. That's fine. I signed up for this. Anyways, so I'm sitting there, and I'm going to try to finish this section tonight. So bear with me, folks. This might be a long one, even though it's like 1:30 in the morning for me right now. Don't worry about it. I'll get to sleep. Yeah, I sound wide awake, right? Right. So yeah. But it annoyed me because in my brain, he should have known. In reality, not really, because he doesn't normally give the kids their medicine. Even though he is their dad and he should know better, you know, it happens. You know, you forget, even my parents will sometimes forget to take their medicine, and they're grown people. So yeah, coffee time. Yes, I do drink coffee this late at night. No, it does not keep me up. The insomnia keeps me up, because even without the coffee, if I didn't drink coffee at night, I would sit here with a headache. And even if I were to go to sleep, I'd wake up with a headache. And there's nothing I hate more than going to sleep with a headache and then waking up with another headache. Or the same headache, I should say. So yeah. Oh, look at that. I got that section done. And then when I'm done, we're going to sidetrack here for a second. When I'm done with, you know, the parts, I do go back and straighten up my drills, just so that they're nice and even. Sometimes that happens. So yeah, so those of you that are looking at this like cringing because they're, oh my god, those drills aren't perfectly straight. Don't worry, I go back and straighten them. Or I'll just leave it there like that for a while. So yeah. What was that? I don't know. Anyways, so I'm sitting there and we get to this place and it's massive. It's a big building. I'm like, how did we miss this? It's right next to the college here. So I'm like, how did we miss this building before? Like, I don't remember ever seeing this building. And he's like, oh, you know, we've been down this way. And we have been down that road before, but never saw that building. Again, we've lived here a year. I think we've been down that road like 6 times. Never seen that building. Or just never paid attention. Either way. So we get there and everybody gets out and the kids are all excited and they're talking about how cold it is outside. I'm like, yeah, but you don't have to worry about that. We're taking you somewhere fun. Because Minna's been saying about being bored. All right, cool. But I think that's a teenage thing because no matter what you do, she's bored. So we go in and the nice people at the desk are like, you know, hi, welcome to the Ark. And I'm looking around like lost, like, hey, we've never been here before. I'm lost. Like one of those kids on the, you know, help. I'm missing pamphlets. But she's like, first timers, huh? I'm like, yeah, we don't know what to do here. And she just like kind of giggles and she's like, well, what are you guys coming for today? And I'm like, well, I would like to take them into the indoor water park. And she goes, oh yes. She goes, even when it's cold outside, it's always warm in here. And I'm like, yeah, that's the fun part. And she's like, yeah, you know, we have heated pools. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna miss the heated pool. You guys, oh my gosh. Let me just say, if you've never been to an indoor water park, go to an indoor water park. That water had to have been at least 78 degrees or something. Like, it was some warm water. All right, so when you walk into this place, nice big lobby area. Right ahead of the lobby area is a track and field court. And in the middle of the track and field court is the basketball court. So hopefully you're not running around while they're playing basketball. You might get chucked in the back of the leg or the head. So then you turn the corner and there's locker rooms. And for $0.25, you can go into the locker room and get a key for a locker to put all your stuff in. So, and of course they have boy locker rooms and girl locker rooms. So Mr. Coffee and Orion went into one and me and the girls went into the other. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, so you guys they were already dressed. They just needed to put their actual like street clothes in the locker. So I put their stuff in the locker, put the $0.25 in, locked it, got the key, and the key's on one of those bungees that go around your arm. So I kept hold of both keys because I figured I'm not getting in the water. So, you know, I can hang on to the keys. That'll be my contribution to the day. And so I sat and diamond painted while they went swimming. And the first pool that they have is a kiddie pool. So it has like tiny little kiddie slide and it has like little water shooters that you can shoot on the people on the other side. And the pool goes to about 3 foot 6 inches, I think it said. So it's not deep, and my kids are all taller than that. So like even Maggie's taller than that, and she's 6. She's a monster. So they were all floating around and swimming in the pool, and Orion can sort of swim. Minna can swim. Maggie likes to just dunk her head under the water. I don't know what it is. I tried to get her to stop doing that because I'm so worried about her dry drowning, which is where they get all that water in their lungs after they've gotten out of the pool and they can still drown. But it's Maggie, so essentially you just give her like a pair of goggles and wish her the best. Like you're not gonna stop Maggie unless you pull her out of the pool and listen to her scream for 2 hours. So we try to, tell her, stop doing that. Don't do that. But she likes to try to go underwater like Daddy. And of course, Mr. Coffee is a fish. So he can swim really good. Like he's some kind of aquatic mammal or something like that. But, yeah, so they're wanting to follow Jordan and he's swimming around and they're swimming around. And if you don't know, Jordan is my husband. His name, we just call him Mr. Coffee, but his name is Jordan. So if I slip and say Jordan, that's who I'm talking about. Mr. Coffee's name is Jordan. So yeah, so they're swimming around. They're having a good time. And if you didn't notice, that was AB's. AB. All right. So they're swimming around. They're having a good old time. I'm sitting there diamond painting, having my own good old time. Because I was like, yeah, forget them. I don't give a crap. It's Father's Day, but I'm about to spend this day doing what I want to do. He can play with the kids. That's fine. And then we find out there's a gigantic water slide that you can go on. They got these huge inner tubes, and you float on these tubes and go down this huge water slide that goes through the wall, back out of the wall, and down into the bigger pool. And then once you hit the bigger pool, it takes you into what is called a lazy river, which is just water current, and it takes you in a big circle. Well, in the big circle, there's this pillar that sits there with this, like, almost like this bucket. And once it gets full, it dumps all that water on you. Coolest thing I've ever seen. I've never been to an indoor water park, and the fact that this thing is 10 minutes from my house and I'm just now finding out about it, I could stab Mr. Coffee in the neck. But I love him, so he survives this round. But he's about to get Game of Thrones for real, because how could you not take us here before? Anyways, so I'm sitting there, and, you know, Maggie and Orion are playing with Minna, and Minna's playing with them, and, you know, Mr. Coffee's playing, and the water is helping his foot because it's taking all the gravity off of it. But then the moment he gets out, you know, reality sets in, and he's like, oh crap, it hurts really bad. And I'm like, well, stay in the water. The best part about this whole thing is there is a hot tub on the adjacent side of the kiddie pool. And I was like, oh, what? A hot tub? I've never been in a hot tub. Is that weird? Anyways, so I see Minna and Orion disappear, and I'm like, oh, you know, they're just, you know, going to go jump in on the other side of the pool or something. Just, you know, bad parenting it up, because at this point, that's Mr. Coffee's job. I'm Diamond Paint. I was like, and then after a few minutes, when I heard a scream, and I recognized the scream as my kid, of course, I went straight mommy mode. Like, Hawkeye, where's my children? I hear the scream. So you get that instant, like, TV feeling where you see the ear moving, and you're listening really hard, and you see the eyes beady, and they're looking around, and you're like, I'm sitting there like, where's my babies? Who's messing with my babies? Why is my baby screaming? And I look over, and I see my son come down this ginormous water slide. And I forget that Orion is not a baby anymore. Orion is 8, and he likes to do things by himself. He's kind of in his own little world most of the time. Between books and video games, you know, he's in his own little world. And if he would have asked me to go down this water slide, I would have told him no, because I'm like, you're not old enough, you're not tall enough, you're not big enough. Which in reality, he was. He was of the size to go down, and they have lifeguards there that, you know, measure them. And the lifeguard will ask them, you know, how old are you? And then they'll measure to see how tall they are. And then they'll ask, you know, where are your parents? And he pointed over to us. And when he pointed over to me, I just waved, because I thought he was just, you know, trying to wave at me. I'm like, hey, my baby waved at me. He knows me in public. No, he was telling the guy that he wanted to go down the slide, and his mom was right there. And me waving essentially gave him permission to go down this slide. So he goes down the slide, and I hear him scream coming out. And he's like, that is the best thing ever. Meanwhile, I've had 3 heart attacks and a stroke. Why is this child a daredevil? Now, Ryan isn't much for nature, but he is a daredevil, and he likes to do things like that. And I'm like, this is scary. And Minna was like, Mommy, maybe next time when we come out here, you can come down the slide too. And I'm thinking, yeah, no, that's not happening. I do like roller coasters and stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of water slides. I don't know why. I'm always scared that, like, I'm going to get hurt inside the tube because of how fast you're going. And so it veers me away from water slides. But I was just like, you know, maybe. I don't know. I got to find my suit. Now, that time I really didn't know where my suit was. Well, apparently she found it Monday, so now I have to go. So today, when you're watching this, no, I don't know. Whenever I decide to put this up, I'm taking the kids back over to this place to go swimming again. And I will be getting in because Minna found my bathing suit. How did she find it and I didn't? I don't know. But she found it. So she's like, you know, now you can go swimming with us. Which, matter of fact, I got to go put it in the dryer because it was in the garage in one of my suitcases. And I went in there looking for it and she found it. I actually went in there looking for more yarn for something. But she found it and I was just like, oh, yay, you found my suit. Yay. But yeah, so they have the water park area. And then on the other side of the water park, they have a regular pool. On the other side of the other, when I say other side, I mean like the next room. Well, the next room after the regular pool is a I don't know what it's called. What do they call it when people compete and swim? Competitive swimming? Yeah, that thing. They have a competitive swimming pool. So it has like the ropes tying off each row, and you can swim back and forth. And so there's like 3 different pools you can go into. Pick your poison. And you just float around in soupy water of other people and their body, whatever. That sounds really gross when you say it like that. But then again, with all that chlorine in there, I don't know. But yeah, so I'm taking the kids back to go swimming while Mr. Coffee's at work. And immediately he's like, I want to go swimming. I'm like, well, looks like we're going swimming this weekend. We're supposed to go to the trampoline park, but we might end up going swimming and to the trampoline park. Sorry, that's the ice maker. Why am I saying sorry? I didn't do it. The ice maker did it. It should apologize. Anyways. So yeah. So that was a lot of fun. And I'm glad that we got to do that with Minna while she was here. I'm glad that I now know where it's at, so I can take them when Mr. Coffee's not with us, because there are some of these days where I know they're bored out of their minds. Maggie and Orion can entertain themselves, but Minna, because she came up here for vacation, she's looking to like get out and explore. And we haven't done a whole lot of exploring because of Mr. Coffee's foot. He can't sit in a car for long periods of time, and I don't know a whole lot of places around here. So it's hard to take her out exploring when I don't really know anything. Like, I know how to get around town. I know how to scavenge for food like a vulture. But I don't really know anything else. Like, I don't know anything cool and exciting. Like, if she was older, there's a couple of casinos right downtown. I'm just saying. But she's 12, so I can't really take her to a casino because that might be frowned upon. I'm pretty sure Maggie would be deadly at blackjack, though. She loves playing cards. Her game of choice, though, is goldfish. So, that if they had a game there like that, maybe. Anybody ever watch National Lampoon's Vacation? I want to say it was, where they went to that random casino and they won all those cars, and they were playing games like rock, paper, scissors and goldfish. That's what that just made me think of. Anyways, so yeah, so Minna wants to adventure, and it's hard because I don't know where anything is, and I'm like, I can drive you around downtown. And then after our Friday night chat in the live, for those of you who are new to the channel, I probably should have said this sooner, but welcome. I'm Miss Coffee. Hey. But hold on, I'm trying to find my next color. And I've knocked everything out of order, so yay. But yeah, so it's kind of one of those things where I don't know really where to take her because I don't know anything like that. Where Mr. Coffee knows all these random places that, we like. I don't know how to get there, and I don't want to get lost with 2 small children and Maggie, because the moment you stress Maggie out and there's no medication for her, in the wilderness, yeah. So I'm just like, okay. So we have plans right now to take and have a picnic at Spring Lake, which is like 15 minutes up the street. We're going to take them on a picnic on probably Saturday, and then we'll go to the pool. Or we'll probably go to the pool first and then have a picnic at the park. And then we're going to come home, and then Sunday we might go to the trampoline park. But we have all these plans for them on the weekends, but during the week, we don't, because I like to do things as a family. Like, I don't want Mr. Coffee to feel left out. That's not nice. Especially since it's his money paying for it. He's the one that works. I mean, I do my YouTube stuff, but my YouTube money, again, goes back into my channel. It doesn't necessarily go towards household things. So he's like, and I told him, I'm like, we got to save up the money to get you guys back to Pennsylvania and then get you back home. We're going to try to make that like a 4 or 5 day trip for him, just because it's going to take him 2 days to get there, 2 days to get back, and then he has to have a day to rest. So I'm hoping that he'll go stay at his mom's house for a couple of days, which I'm pretty sure he probably will. He'll either stay at his mom's house, my parents' house, or his friend Josh's house. Either way, he's got to stop and sleep for the day and relax before he gets back in that car and makes the journey back home. He likes to drive anyways, so I'm guessing he's probably going to go the driving route anyways, because I've been fussing about, taking and flying back home, but that's just you know, out of the question because it was my idea, I guess. I don't know. He's weird. Um, so yeah, so we have all the plans for them on the weekends, but not so much during the week. So the little ones know how to entertain themselves between their friends that live around here and just playing with each other or playing by themselves. They can entertain themselves, but Minna doesn't have any friends around here. And I tried to get her to make friends, but she was too shy to talk to the girls that showed up at the park the one day. And I'm like, you get it, honestly. I know you do. But it kind of irritated me at the same time because one of the big points that she drilled into my head before she got here was she wanted to make friends so that when she did move out here, she would have a friend already. Well, then there was a couple of girls at the park that were around her age, and she didn't want to talk to him. She was really shy. And I'm like, do you want me to go over with you? And I'm like, that's probably not cool, but, you know, I can try. I look cool right now. You know, I have on tights and, you know, I got my sunglasses on and haircut's all cute today. And she just looks at me. She's like, Mom, please don't. And I'm like, all right, fine, fine. It's weird because the little ones think I'm cool and Minna's just kind of like, not really. The teenage thing is killing me right now. Like, I don't know what to do with a teenager. Maggie and Ryan, they're easy. You give them a toy or something, they're about that all day. Minna, I'm learning I'm not ready for a teenager. Every day is something new. Every day, no matter what you do, she has like this look of everything about life just gives her diarrhea. Like, she always has this look on her face, and I'll be like, what's wrong? Why are you so sad? Are you bored? She's like, yes. And why is it? I'm like, why are you always releasing hot air? Like, why are you always huffing and puffing? Is that really that difficult? Like, was it that difficult to say yes? You're just like, yes. I'm like, that's a lot of hot air to put back into the environment, and I'm pretty sure you're killing the ozone layer too. So like, how about you keep the hot air in and just answer the question? Like, is that hard? Like, is that asking too much? And she's like, I don't even know what you're really talking about right now. Teenagers are weird. I wasn't eased into this because, like, you know, as they grow up, you're eased into like the attitude and the, you know, just their demeanor. I wasn't eased into this. Now, when we moved from Pennsylvania, Minna decided to stay in Pennsylvania because of her grandmother. Her grandmother lost her husband a few years ago, and Minna and her grandmother are really close. So she didn't want to leave her gram because she was scared she was going to be lonely. So I told her, you know, I'll give you a year to essentially she got 2 years. So she got last year and now she'll have this year because when she starts high school is when I want her to move here, because I found out that up here in North Dakota, when you complete 4 years of high school, you get 2 years of college for free. So I was like, 2 years of college I ain't got to pay for? Sold. So, and Mr. Coffee and I went back and forth on it, and I'm like, to anyone, that's a no-brainer, but this is Minna, and, you know, she's changed what she's wanted to do for a while now. For a while, she wanted to be a teacher, and then she wanted to be a chef. At this point, I don't even know what she wants to do. I think she's at that age where she's just like, I don't know. I don't really think about it. Anyways, so I wanted her to go to high school up here, so that was part of the reason why she was taking this trip, so she can see what it's like. I'm pretty sure she likes it up here, but I think it's a teenage thing where everything is boring, and I'm like, will you please stop releasing that hot air into the ozone layer? You're going to kill a bird. So yeah. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to put up a video of, we went to Applebee's after we went to the Ark. And at Applebee's, in the parking lot, were 2 seagulls just screaming for no reason. And I took a video for some reason, and I'm going to share the video with you guys. So at the end of the video, watch out for the seagulls. Just because also Minna is still scared of seagulls. She thinks that they're going to come eat her hair or something. I don't know. Minna's weird like that. Anyways, so yeah, so that was our Father's Day. Essentially, we've been like chilling out in the house, playing games and doing stuff like that. Any free moment I have, I'm working on this. And she's pretty big, and I just want to see if I can get to the halfway point, because like right now I have the whole bottom done. So this whole diamond. this whole part is done. And I'm moving up to the second big chunk of canvas. And I'm really hoping to hit the halfway point here soon. So yeah, like, I love working on the canvas. It's really nice to work on. And I'm starting to get into some other colors. And I'm loving every second of it. Like, all right, sorry about that. One of the kids woke up. Anyways, so yeah, so I am trying to find cool little things for the kids to do during the week. We had all these plans of wanting to do science experiments and stuff like that. And where I don't mind doing science experiments, I don't want to end up a science experiment, because Mr. Coffee reminds me of a scientist, of Tim the Toolman Taylor was a scientist. So like, we're still doing little science experiments with them here at home, but a lot of them happen on the weekends. And of course, that's not something a teenage little girl or a teenage little person would like to do. So we've had to adjust those plans a little bit. I mean, we're still doing them, just she'll observe. But I'm learning a lot about what a year away from your mom does. And I asked her, I'm like, how do you feel not seeing your mom for an entire year? Just because I want to see where her head's at with everything, and make sure she's still doing okay with the decision for us to move and everything, because it wasn't an easy decision to leave her behind. And her brother and sister missed her terribly. Right now, they're actually having a sleepover in Minna's room, or Orion's room, watching a movie, and Maggie got up because she wanted a sip of water. Because no child is, every small child is the thirstiest when it's time for bed. And they went to bed hours ago, and she just woke up and randomly wanted a sip of water. So I was like, okay, make it quick. Anyways, so it's just weird, because trying to find stuff that she likes to do. And then, of course, because she's a teenager, if you ask her what she would like to do, I don't know. Why is everything I don't know? Somebody please help me. Somebody please help me before I rip the last little bit of my hair out of my head. Why is it that she's always bored, but then doesn't know anything she wants to do? And I would say it's because she doesn't know the area, but we've given her a number of options of things that we could do, between camping and glamping and, this and that. And she doesn't want to be outside. She wants to do something on the inside. Problem is, everything is super expensive here. So I don't want to go broke trying to entertain her for 20 minutes before she tells me she's bored again. But then again, I don't want her to be bored to death. Like, I feel like I'm wasting her time having her here. So we're still trying to figure out, this teenager thing, and how to get her to say something that she would actually like to do. Like, if I say, let's go swimming, she's all about that. But she doesn't really want to do a whole lot of anything else. Like, swimming and the trampoline park are the two main things that she just wants to do all the time. Trampoline park, where it is fun, it's super expensive. $15 a person for a half hour. So I'm like, get all the half hour jumping in you can. As soon as I pay for it, you better start jumping. I don't care if it's a hardwood floor, jump. So we will be taking them to do that. And I told Mr. Coffee, I don't want to do this. I don't want this to be an everyday thing, because it kind of loses its novelty when it's an everyday thing. And the little ones haven't been there in a while anyways, but I'm like, I don't want it to lose its novelty, and then we take her there and she's bored with going, because we go all the time. But it is Williston, so there's not like there's a whole heck of a lot of stuff to do here. I'm trying to find little things for her to do so that she isn't bored. And one of the things that she said that kind of caught me off guard was she wanted a chore. And I'm like, you want chores? And she's like, well, I don't want chores, but something to do. She wants to have a purpose. And I get that. Like, she usually helps her dad with her brothers at home, because she has two littler brothers. They're, I want to say, 3 and 4. So she'll help her dad at home with her brothers. So then to come here and do nothing is probably driving her nuts. So I finally caved, and I let her walk with me with the dogs a few times. And she asked, can I walk the dogs? And with Mr. Coffee being down with his foot, I'm like, it would be nice to have the extra little help with the dogs. Now, the dogs, I worry because though the dogs are trained, and the dogs wouldn't attack anybody. Like Killian, he'll lick all the skin off your face. Daisy, uh, Daisy is the one I really worry about because Daisy, most people see German Shepherds and they're immediately afraid of them anyways, but Daisy won't bite you unless you're posing some kind of a threat. Killian, no. Daisy, yes, possibly. So if somebody were to like try to say grab Minna while she was walking them, Daisy would then bite their arm off. Or if, you know, like the other day, she was walking them down the street and the lawnmower guy stopped what he was doing and walked up to her, to which Daisy barked at him to give him a warning to like back off. And he walks up and he tells my daughter, you know, those are some beautiful dogs. And she goes, thank you, but I really got to keep going. To which, and I'm watching this, so I'm like, what does he want with my kid? And I'm like, Minna, keep walking. So she keeps walking, and I'm like, is there something I can help you with? And he goes, oh, no, I was just telling her beautiful dogs. I'm like, well, keep it pushing, buddy. She's 12. And he just looks at me and looks back at her, and he goes back about his business. Minna looks like she's older, but she's not. She's 12. So I was just like, I really hope that I was over, you know, thinking that, and that this guy wasn't really trying to hit on my 12-year-old, but in the world we live in today, you never know. Mom was a little overprotective of her babies. Anyways. So yeah, she's been helping me walk the dogs, and she's been pretty excited about it, and I'm like, I still get weary because if Daisy or Killian, or pretty much if Killian, because we all know Daisy's the good dog. Not that Killian's bad, but he's mischievous. We'll say that. Just like Maggie's not bad, she's adventurous. Daisy is, or Killian is adventurous too. He likes to essentially, he won't run off. It's like a light jog. But he likes to go chase after stuff. And the last thing I need is a phone call because I make her take her cell phone. I'm sorry, I'm changing colors. I make her take her cell phone with her when she goes in case there's a problem. Because as you guys already know, Daisy or Killian will chase after other animals. So if he sees a bunny or something, he'll jump the fence at the dog park to go chase a bunny or a jackrabbit or a seagull or anything that touches the ground that moves that isn't a dog. So I'm always worried about that. And then I'm also worried about if there's other people in the dog park. And I told her, you know, unless they call the dogs by name, unless they say, hi, Daisy, or hi, Killian, do not take the dogs in the dog park. Not that I don't trust her, but if something were to happen and a fight would break out, she's not old enough to handle that situation. Because a lot of the dogs around here are small, but they have that big dog syndrome where they think that, oh, I'm going to attack this dog because it's big. Daisy's fearful of smaller dogs, even though she's 110 pounds, but a 2-pound teacup poodle Chihuahua thing will scare the crap out of her. So yeah, so it's one of those things where, you know, I have to be very cautious of her going out with the dogs. And I gave her this whole set of rules. You know, if you don't follow these rules and something happens and it's your fault, then you don't get to walk the dogs anymore. And she's like, you know, everything's fine. And she'll send me a picture when she crosses the street. And then she'll send me a picture when she reaches the dog park, because she has to cross the street to get to the dog park. And though she's old enough to cross the street, with these people with these big trucks, I don't trust them to stop, because a lot of the times they'll speed up the road. And I've seen a few people run the stop sign. So she'll let me know when she crosses the street. And then when she gets to the dog park, she'll take another picture. And after so long, she'll be like, you know, should I keep walking them? They haven't, you know, gone to the bathroom yet, or something like that. So I get a little weary about it, but I'm not going to sit here and have her like cleaning a bathroom or doing dishes. I don't really have a chore for her to do, because if she did the chores, then what am I supposed to do? Like, I have one job. So I'm like, I can't have you doing, like, I'm not going to have her cleaning anything because my OCD won't allow it. So I was like, you know, what chore can I give her that she can handle for her age? And she literally went on Pinterest and looked up this age calendar thing, and it tells you a list of chores that your child should be able to do at what age. And I'm like, I don't need Pinterest to tell me my business. Like, I don't like the fact that Pinterest is trying to tell me at what age my child can do their own laundry. Like, I think I should be able to judge when my child can do their own laundry. But I just had this symbol out. Where did it go? Okay, you're supposed to be behind here. Sorry, I'm switching things around in here. All these colors. Alright, so there it is. I missed one of these symbols. Of course I did. It's the confetti game. Because no matter how hard you look to make sure you don't miss symbols, you're going to miss a bunch of symbols. Anyways. And then, so yeah, so that's Minna and her jive business. Okay, there's a bunch of X's up there. You guys still see what I'm doing? Yeah, you can. Sometimes you got to check just to make sure. So yeah, other than that, we've just been hanging out at the house and watching movies and YouTube, and like we were binge watching Stone Cold Coffee Crafter and the Diamond Painting Queen Danielle Burwell, one of those. She knows who I'm talking about. But we were binge watching Heike, who is Stone Cold Coffee Crafter, or Craft. Sorry, I keep wanting to call her Crafter. However her name is said. You guys, we seen her for the longest time. We seen her in chat. We called her Heike, and then we later found out that her name is Heike. Anyways, so we were binge watching her because we spotted a video, or I should say, Minna spotted a video of her cat Lola. And so then that meant let's watch all the videos. Not that I have a problem watching them, because, you know, I'm caught up on the videos I missed. I'm thinking I'm like a day behind on everybody's videos, except for a few people. But she was asking me, you know, who is this person? Do you like this person? Do you like that person? Do you watch this person? And she's remembering all the names from chat and asking me, you know, do you watch this person's channel or that person's channel or this person's channel? And what's a Stitcherista? And I'm like, did you just say what's a Stitcherista? I'm like, it's not a what, it's a who. And she goes, that's like barista at Starbucks. And I'm like, here we go. Here we go with the Starbucks thing. Don't worry. We had to go to Albertsons because Maggie needed a refill on her medicine. And inside of Albertsons is the very first Starbucks of Williston. And I was like, you know what? We'll get your Dragon Ball suit stuff here. And she's like, no, Mom, it's Dragon Refresher. And I'm like, yeah, whatever that means. I don't see any refreshed dragons walking around. I'm just saying. I don't know what's in it. As long as it's not coffee, I don't care if she gets something from Starbucks, I guess. I personally just don't want anything from Starbucks. And she's like trying to get me to try it. And she's like, it has dragon seeds. I'm like, please tell me where they got seeds from a dragon from, please. Did they visit the set of Game of Thrones? Because you know that's not real. And she just looked at me and she's like, I can't right now. I just can't with you, Mom. And I'm like, did you just say you can't with me? You're 12. Anyways, so yeah. And then Maggie, I was talking to one of Mr. Coffee's friends, and you know, it was one of his coworkers stopped by the house today, and she was saying about the Starbucks and everything, and I said something about stabbing someone, and I was like, how would you like to be stabbed by a little Maggie? And Maggie's like, yeah, I like stabby. So I'm a little worried about my daughter Maggie. Every day that I wake up and she's not standing freakishly at the end of my bed staring at me in the dark, it's a good day. And believe me, that does happen. She'll just be standing there in the dark, like they do that hardcore stare at you until you wake up. Yeah, Maggie likes to do that. But usually it's because she had like a bad dream or something, and I have to go like carry her back to bed. But yeah, so she was like, yeah, that Starbucks is really good. It's the only one within miles. And they have a bunch of coffee shops around here, but that's the only Starbucks. And I'm like, I have a feeling I'm going to be at Starbucks every day. Surprisingly, no. Luckily, also, her drink isn't really that expensive. It's not like one of those like Ariana Grande $7 drinks I keep hearing about. And I'm like, I like my cheapo coffee from Walmart. I'm good. I don't need any of this fancy hidey-tidy stuff. Like, give me a cheap French vanilla from Walmart. I'm good. It's coffee. It does its job. Whatever that job may be. Let's see. Yep, it's out. So yeah, so it's been interesting having 3 kids, and every time they leave the house, like Minna took them today up to the soccer field to go play soccer because I showed her where the soccer field was. So she decided she wanted to go play soccer, and she pulled out the soccer socks, apparently, to go play soccer with the little ones. And I was like, yeah, okay, go ahead and play soccer. And I got a message from Becky's Madness for diamond painting, and I was chit-chatting with her, and she's like, what are you doing? How is it having the 3 kids? And I'm like, I'm cleaning. I literally, like, I didn't deep clean the house, but I spot cleaned the hell out of it. Like, I spot cleaned so bad because I have to spot clean every day, even though I don't deep clean every day because of all the dog fur. And with Minna and her hair will trap all the dog fur. So I have to make sure I'm on top of my A game when it comes to cleaning when she's here, which of course I don't mind because I like cleaning. Something about cleaning up a mess, I don't know, makes me feel better. So I'm like frantically running around and I'm vacuuming and I'm dusting because I can't dust, of course, with Orion in the house because of his allergies, even though I've done it a few times since he's been home for summer, and he hasn't had any issues. So that's always a plus. But sorry, I was focusing really hard on that symbol. Okay, so there's, let's see if I can show you. In this area here that I'm working in, I don't know how well you can see this. I need to go in a little bit more. I'm not sure how well you guys are gonna be able to see that. Let me look. Oh, okay, you guys can see it. So there's half triangles, and then there's like this nipple symbol. And so I have to make sure that I'm putting this color that I'm working on, 334, on the half triangles and not the what I call the nipple symbols. So let's zoom you back out so you don't get like cross-eyed there. I don't want anybody telling me that they needed glasses because of my whipping chat. So yeah, sorry, Rachel was showing me candy. So I'm just trying to figure out something nice and fun for the kids to do, and we're gonna hate it when Minna leaves, and I know the kids are gonna be sad, and I know I'm gonna be sad, which is another reason why I would rather Mr. Coffee just take them or take her back by herself with him. Plus, he hasn't gotten a chance to really spend any time or talk with her a whole lot, so I know that he's kind of looking forward to having that little bit of alone time with her. Even though that is his stepdaughter, he still does view her as one of his very own kids because Mr. Coffee and I have been married since Minna was 3. So, like, every once in a while he'll have, like, a heart-to-heart with her about something. And not that he needs to have a heart-to-heart with her about anything. It's just he likes spending time with her, too. And with him and his work schedule, he doesn't get a whole lot of time with her by herself. So he's going to enjoy, I know they'll enjoy the ride back because they're 2 little peas in a pod. I was telling my husband's coworker today that whenever we lived in Pennsylvania, whenever one of them would get hurt, the other one would get hurt shortly afterwards. So it was either taking Minna to the hospital, and then like a week or so later taking Mr. Coffee to the hospital, and then vice versa. So I'm like, they're 2 little peas in a pod. They're thicker than thieves. So it'll be nice for Mr. Coffee to take her back versus all of us, because then it'll be just a big sad, sappy, pity party the whole ride home. And so I was like, we'll stay here, you go ahead and take her, and I'll hold down the fort until you get back home. So he was like, okay, fine. So plus he likes driving. Mr. Coffee loves to drive, and it's cheaper to drive anyways because the tickets are super expensive. Not that we couldn't pay for the tickets, it's just it's super expensive versus we can pay a fraction of that and just take a day or 2 longer. So, plus that way she can also stop at Starbucks and gets her little mocha frappa Dragon Ball suit frappuccino thing. And apparently they have a I've Been There series going on at Starbucks where you can collect these Starbucks mugs. And I don't know nothing about this. Again, I don't drink Starbucks. So while she was in the store the other day, she was like, Mom, can I get this mug? And I was like, $13. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, sure. That's fine. It's probably the most expensive mug I've ever paid for in my entire life. But yeah, that's fine. You can get it. And it's a North Dakota mug. And it has all these little landmarks of North Dakota. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I'm like, if nothing else, it'll be like a little souvenir for her to take home. And so she's telling me about this series. And the more she told me about it, the more I was like, I think you guys driving back would be the best bet. Because that way he can find the Starbucks around there, get himself a coffee on top of getting her her Dragon Ball soup thing, and then or I guess it's called a dragon fruit refresher. I think that's what it's called. Apparently she likes it made with water and not, or with coconut milk instead of regular milk or something, or water or something. I don't know. It's a purple drink. But I'm like, that way if you guys drive, you can hit up the Starbucks in every state and get her mugs for the entire way back. And she can see all the sights, because again, she's never been out of Pennsylvania, and where her first plane ride, she said, was pretty nice. It was just shocking that the mishap at the airport didn't affect her any. She didn't care. She was just like, nothing else, I got to sleep in the airport. So that's something I can always say that I've done that I've never done. It's something a lot of my friends haven't done. So I was like, oh, okay, well, it is what it is, I guess. I guess there's always two ways to see things. So I'm like, yeah, you guys driving back, I'm okay with it now, because I wasn't before. I was like, I don't like that idea. That's too long for Mr. Coffee to be on the road by himself. But thinking about it that way, and then for his way back, he should be fine. He likes to drive the open road, so. And by that point, he should be able. He's driving now with his bad foot, so he should be okay to drive to take her back, because by the time it's time to take her back, his foot should not so much be completely healed, but healed up more than it is now. Because right now it's not as swollen as it has been. The swelling has gone down significantly, but he still has a little bit of trouble walking on it, but he has no problems driving his car. Please explain that one to me. And for those of you who don't know, he drives an automatic or a manual. So he drives a stick. I don't know how to drive stick, but he drives a stick. So how he can drive the car perfectly but not walk really good is beyond me. I don't know. He just knows that car. And I told him, I'm like, well, drive your car, I guess, because it's just the two of you, so it's not like you have to make room for dogs or kids or anything like that. So yeah, I think that's what they're gonna do, just so she can hit up the Starbucks and she can see some pretty cool sights, because the drive is actually really nice from North Dakota to Pennsylvania. And the thing that trips me out is the time zone change, because it changes in, I want to say, Illinois or somewhere in Chicago. It changes, and it's really, really cool. And that was my favorite part when we moved here, was the time change, because you live the same hour twice. And I'm weird like that. I thought that was really cool. So I think they've come to the decision, at least I have during this whip and chat, that they're going to drive home to take her back home. So, okay, I need F, because apparently I forgot an F up here. So we're going to just shake out a couple of those. Now, the only thing I don't like about these Harbor Freight containers, and tell me if this happens to anyone else, when you put them in the case, because a lot of times I'll just have them sitting out here on the table, just to avoid this. When you put them back in your case when you're not using them, oh, there's one in there. Yeah, this is what I also have been doing. If I see a color that is in the hobo tray, I will use it then to essentially fill in that spot. But yeah, so I think they're gonna be okay to drive back. I'm always a worry wart, a worrying Wanda, if you will. Sorry if your name is Wanda and you're not a worrier, but I worry about things like that, like being on the road for too long. And it's not so much that I don't trust Mr. Coffee's driving, because he drives like a grandma. And if I'm telling you right now, guys, if he drove any slower, he'd be driving backwards. So I trust him to drive back, but I don't trust other people on the road. That's the thing that gets me. Um, so they'll probably be driving back, and it'll be sad, but I don't want to focus on that. I'm going to focus on the time she has here and trying to find things for her to do. But I'm telling you right now, if she does not stop with this blowing hot air thing, I'm going to chop her in the throat. I'm like, you're killing the ozone layer, kid. It's weird going from having two little kids, and I call them the little ones because they're under the age of 10. And I probably still call them the little ones even when they're older. I don't know. I don't care. Hold on a second. Crisis averted. All right, so I had a subscriber message me just now, and if you guys don't know, or you're thinking about YouTube, the YouTuber's job is never done. So if I'm awake, and especially right like times like now where it's like 2:30 in the morning, and somebody asks me a question, I will answer it and stuff. Like, I do have set times, like business hours essentially, but like I don't answer anything until after 10 a.m. Even if I wake up earlier than that, I won't look at YouTube or anything until after 10 a.m. And then after I go to bed at midnight, essentially my time, which is Central Standard Time, at midnight my time, my phone goes silent. It goes immediately into sleep or do not disturb mode, where unless my husband, my father, or my daughter is calling me, or her father, I don't answer it because I can't hear it because there's no sound. But if I'm awake, I will leave my laptop open, and I will still answer questions and stuff. And somebody had a question for me, so I had to answer that real quick. I didn't want the person to think I was ignoring them, especially since it's showing that I'm online. So yeah. Anyways, so yeah, we have a couple more fun things planned for the kids for the summer, and we're gonna try to enjoy as much time with Minna as we possibly can before she goes back to her dad's. I'm not gonna say she's not excited to go home, but she like misses her friends and her gram, and I get that. So we decided to push her going back home date up by a week or so. So we're gonna try to get her home a little bit earlier so she can spend a little bit of time with her friends and her gram before she leaves for camp, because she has a 10-day camp that she'll be going to, and then shortly after she gets back, it'll be time for school again. It's hard to think that it's almost time for the kids to go back to school. It seems like they just got out. I'm enjoying the freedom of sleeping in, where most parents are like getting, every once in a while the kids will drive me nuts, but for the most part they do their own thing, and we play, I take them to the park in the afternoon and we'll play for like an hour or so. We come back and then they go off to do their own thing. And unless they want me to play with them, they don't really bother me too much, which is how I'm able to still diamond paint and still make videos and stuff. Because I thought for sure with Minna being here, the kids would be up my butt the entire time. And surprisingly, they're not. They're still like kind of in their own little worlds and they do their own little thing. Now, Minna, because she doesn't have any friends around here her age, for a 12-year-old, it gets boring hanging out with an 8 and 6-year-old. So she'll come out here and like want to watch a show or something with me, or show me something funny on YouTube. But other than that, she essentially just kind of chills to herself, and she'll be on her phone talking to her friends or whatever, or her dad or her gram. So it's nice that I can keep up and still do as much as I usually do on my channel. So for those people that are like, how is she still able to make all these videos and still diamond paint and finish projects and everything else, because I think I finished 3 projects within the last month. So that's why, because my kids are independently playing on their own, and when they are, any chance I get to make a video, I'm making a video. And I know I said I was going to slow down for summer, but I don't want to slow down. I like the pace I'm going, and if I need to take a break, I'll take a break. And if I don't need to take a break and I want to keep going, I'll keep going. I've learned that taking a break is nice, but I always feel like I miss so much stuff, even if it's for a day. So I think like my next break might be when Minna leaves, because I need that time to kind of get my brain back together. Because as a mom, especially as a child turning into a teen, it's hard enough that she's leaving to go back, and I probably won't see her for a while. But it's hard because she's turning into a young lady, and mommy's not there to teach her all the essentials. So like I'm having to cram some of those essentials down her throat now while she's here, and she's at that stage where she's killing the ozone layer with all her huffs and puffs. And it's weird. So it's taking time for all of us to adjust to having her back. And I know the moment we finally get settled into a routine, she'll end up leaving. And essentially, this is all Maggie has ever wanted, was she wanted the whole family back together. And she would like Pawpaw here too, but I keep trying to tell her, she thinks my dad can just come live with us, like he doesn't have a wife and a mortgage and all that fun jazz. And I keep trying to tell her that, Pawpaw can't come live with us until he's old and in diapers. But she thinks it's okay if he just puts on diapers now and comes and lives with us. Like when we went to Pennsylvania, because he was sick, for those of you who don't know, who are new, my dad just recently had knee replacement surgery about 2 weeks ago. Actually, about 3 weeks ago. He had knee replacement surgery, and he ended up getting a blood clot in his lung due to the fact that the hospital forgot to give him a blood thinner after his surgery. So he ended up developing a blood clot, and he got really sick. He's doing much better now. His oxygen levels and everything are back up to normal, because that's something else that they were worried about. He went a whole day without his oxygen machine, even after I fussed at him twice about it. But he's doing much better now, and he's still just as feisty as ever. No, it's not that one. Okay, because I missed a symbol up here. But yeah, so she thought because he was sick, that meant he was coming to stay with us. And I was like, I had to explain to her, no, Pawpaw's not coming to stay with us. Nana's going to take care of him. And she's like, well, Pawpaw can just put on a diaper and come live with us. And I'm like, that's not how this works. Most people don't just put on diapers so they can live with their grandchildren. But Maggie doesn't care. She just knows she wants her Pawpaw. Maggie loves her Pawpaw. So, it's kind of one of those things where you explain to Maggie a few times, and finally she'll just stop asking. But this is essentially what Maggie's always wanted. This is what has been stressing her, is the fact that she wants her big sister. Problem is, we don't always get what we want in life, and Maggie has to understand that, and I understand she has a condition, but I can't give in to her every want and need, or I can give in to her needs, but not so much everything she wants, because then that's how you create spoiled children. And Miss Coffee ain't going for that crap. No, I'm not going to have some spoiled little kid running around my house telling me what to do and making me afraid of them. I don't think so. So yeah, we explained to her that Minna will be going home at some point, and no, Pawpaw cannot come live with us, and we can't just put him in a diaper and move him out here. My parents will actually be moving to Alabama here, I want to say next year, because my dad retires this year. So they're moving to Alabama because Roll Tide. That's where my dad wants to retire to, because where most people want to retire to Florida, my dad's like, no, I don't want to see my coworkers, because a lot of them will be retiring in Florida. And he's like, I don't want to see my coworkers, so I'm going to Alabama. That's literally his reasoning for wanting to move to Alabama. That and the fact that my stepmom, is a native Alabamian, or however you want to say it. She was raised in Opelika. So they want to move back there because we do have family there, and uh, they know the area pretty well. So that's where he'll be happy when they retire. My mom, she's like, that's just going home for me. That's fine. So they will be moving further away, which is going to make visiting awfully hard. But I know my dad plans on making a trip up here to come see us because he would like to see what North Dakota is like. Because I don't know if he's ever been to the Dakotas before. He might have been to South Dakota. A lot of people have been to South Dakota, but not so much North Dakota. And to be completely honest, when we first moved here, I'm like, I didn't even realize, like, I realized it was a state, but I thought it was kind of like forgotten because it's not a state that anybody like really talks about, like Georgia, like ATL or stuff like that. It's North Dakota. So like there's not like there's anything exciting happening here that people would remember, even though the coach of the 1990s Chicago Bulls, Phil Jackson, is from here. There's really nothing exciting about North Dakota. Not like let's move there, because as I'm constantly told every day, nobody just moves to North Dakota. Like nobody just is like, oh, that seems like a fun place to live. So so I'm just like, one day if Mr. Coffee retires, we've been talking about getting a cabin and living in the woods. And that's our hopes and dreams, is to one day, buy that cabin in the woods where we're away from all of humanity and it's just him and me in the wilderness. I'm like, I'm not sure that's a good idea for you because, you might end up being part of the wilderness if you keep acting the way you acting sometimes. So yeah. Don't you hate that when the back of the paper gets stuck to the thing after you fold it up? And I have this ripped in half, so that's why it's like being all wonky. So let's see, did we finish that symbol? I think we did. Let's straighten this up a little bit. I got one of those symbols up there. Yeah, it's hard with these two symbols together, but it makes it look so nice. And I can see it in there and it looks really nice. All right, so let's see. Is there any more of this symbol? Because I just saw a couple of these. Let's see, I know I didn't pull this out for no reason. But I think I am going to have to end it because it is about 40 after 2 in the morning. And at some point, I should get to bed because apparently I have to go swimming in the morning. Bleh. So I'm not going to finish this section tonight, which is all right. I'll finish it tomorrow when we get back from swimming because we'll probably get back and they'll all pass out. They'll drop like flies. That's usually what ends up happening is, we're out all day and then they drop like flies. So, and surprisingly, Minna has not changed in that aspect. Like she still is super tired all the time and she just sleeps and eats. So that's a good thing. That's a plus. So let's get the letter F and that'll be my last symbol. Nope, that's 9. I need letter F. Where is letter F? Right here. And that's this little symbol or pieces right here. So yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoy the new releases from Diamond Art Club. They have, what's today? So they have the 21st or the 22nd and the 29th to still do new releases. And if any of them catch my fancy, I will make sure to get some. Of course, I ordered some this time. More than likely, I probably will order like at least 1 or 2 canvases for the next 2 weeks for the releases. So get ready for those unboxings. There's a couple of unboxings going up on the channel this week. Obviously, this Whip and Chat, which Rachel asked me to make it a premiere, so I'll have to ask her what day would be better to make it a premiere because I like to try to do the premieres for those folks that are over in like the UK and stuff, because I know their time difference is opposite of mine, and I know Rachel's 6 hours ahead of me. So I'll have to ask her what day and stuff will be better, because I'm pretty sure this video is gonna go up on a Wednesday, because I do my Whip and Chats on Wednesdays usually. and then I'll push whatever video I had up for Wednesday back until like Thursday or something. But either way, you guys will get your videos this week, and then you, of course, will see me on live. So if you are new to the channel, I do go live every Friday evening at 9 p.m. from 9 p.m. until 12 a.m. Central Standard Time. So that's 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So whatever time zone that is for you, you know, you can figure that out. I don't do math. So yeah. And now that that symbol is complete, that is it for me, because now I'm actually tired and I think I've talked myself sleepy. So that is it for me, folks. Thank you so much. I'll give you one final glance at one worth melting. I can't get it out, but so yeah, so that is that section almost done. I have to fill this part in, and then I have this bottom part complete, and there's another drill. So yeah, so hopefully you guys are enjoying. Oh crap, I got a lot of that done. All right, so there's this, and then it goes up to there. So yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you're not already a subscriber and would like to subscribe and see more random videos and when I make them, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and the bell. As for me, I'm taking my butt to bed. So thank you again so much for watching. But before I do that, I'm going to do like I always do and remind you to be kind, be courteous, be cool. Bye, guys.